Good afternoon and happy Monday. I'm Nick and this is your next Geeky News. So, today I'm going to start out with an addendum to an article that I had gone over on, I want to say it was like Thursday of last week, where Microsoft hiked the price of Xbox Gold. So, they have since basically backtracked on that due to internet outrage onto the price hike. And honestly, it was kind of justified. It was a pretty hefty hike in the service if they weren't really going to bring much more to the party other than the same games that they've been bringing us, making the value of it less for the amount that you've been putting into it. So let's go ahead and get into that quickly to kind of go over that. So what you're going to see is Microsoft says that they made a shock U-turn on the Xbox Live Gold price increase, saying that they had messed up. So they have basically gone back to the $60 a year subscription fee and have basically stated that certain free-to-play games are going to be able to be played for free and not really need gold in order for you to be able to play them. I'm not really sure what they mean by that. That's a little confusing. Plus removing Xbox Live Gold requirement for free-to-play, as you can see here. Like I said, I don't really know exactly what they're saying here. This could be select games. This could be anything that doesn't require a monthly fee. This could be something that the games developer itself makes an agreement with Microsoft and pays maybe a little bit more so that you aren't really charged anything to be able to play their game, making it more advantageous for you to go in and maybe do some microtransactions or buy some cosmetics or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what this means. It could be just as innocuous that if it doesn't have a monthly fee, we're just not going to charge you for it, and Games for Gold is just going to get you free games. And from that standpoint, that would be great, because Games for Gold has always been a little bit better than PlayStation Plus in the fact that after you close your membership for Games with Gold, you still get to keep your games. Whereas on the PlayStation Plus one, if you don't have an active PlayStation Plus account, you can't play those games anymore. That's always been how that service works, which used to make Games with Gold a little bit more attractive than its competitor, even though you didn't really need PlayStation Plus to be able to play online with your friends, and you did need Gold. At least the perks made up for it. So we're going to see where that goes. The next thing that I have for you guys today on your Monday is that Phil Spencer has announced that we have a bunch of new games coming to Game Pass. So if you're a Game Pass subscriber, get ready for a boatload of really good games coming your way. Outer Wilds, Yakuza 3, 4, and 5 all remastered, Desperados 3, which is a fairly recent release, I want to say in the last couple months, it came out late last year, Donut Country, Cyber Shadow, which is a new retro-inspired game by the same people that did Shovel Knight, Medium. If you haven't heard about the Medium, you have not been paying attention to your Xbox Series coverage, because this is going to be one of the best games so far of this generation, I suspect. This game looks amazing, guys. If you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend you find some trailers on it and start checking it out. It looks like it's going to be a great little horror title. And Control. While not a new title, this is also going to be a very good game. So all those are coming to Game Pass if you're so inclined to have Game Pass. The next thing that I have for you today is that Tony Hawk's 1 and 2 dev Vicarious Visions has now been folded into Blizzard. So basically they worked on the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy and the remakes of Tony Hawk. They've been a really good company for revitalizing these old games and remastering them, and all of these have been really well received. They have been a great group to have on these titles, but now they're part of Blizzard. How Blizzard plans to utilize them, we don't know yet. But the fact remains that they're probably not going to be working on Tony Hawk 3 and 4 since they've been folded into Blizzard. It could be they're going to be working on, say, Diablo 2. They could be working on other remasters. They could just basically be doing, other support work that they need for any various game that they have, including maybe, Diablo 4 or Overwatch 2. Nobody knows at this point. But it could put a damper on Tony Hawk 3 and 4 getting a remaster, because I think that's something that they have been slated to work on in the past. So just a heads up on that, you may have another delay on that. The next thing that we have is there is a new Knights of the Old Republic reportedly in development outside of EA, which means BioWare would not be working on this one. And that's interesting, because BioWare made the first two of these and worked on the Old Republic MMO, and all of those were really well received and had really good direction. So I'm going to be curious to see who takes the reins on Knights of the Old Republic, because it's some pretty big shoes to fill coming from old school BioWare and trying to make a new entry. So we're going to see how this goes. There have been rumors of like a KOTOR being in development for some time. This is the most solid thing that I have seen so far that pretty much confirms that it's coming. So I'm pretty excited about this one, and I hope you guys are too. I love the old KOTOR games, and honestly, I still really enjoy Old Republic from time to time. So I'll be very curious to see where this goes. Another thing that we had this for you today is Doom. Developer id Software is making a VR game. Now, Doom VR doesn't really count. I think that was actually translated over by somebody else, but they're working on a full-fledged VR game. Now, they don't have any previous experience in the VR space, but if anybody's going to be able to like adapt to VR, I feel like it's John Carmack. Him and John Romero were the ones that brought us the original Doom and pretty much changed the entire landscape of PC gaming and brought about the first-person shooter era. So if anybody's going to basically start to really kickstart VR heavily outside of Valve, which has already done Half-Life Alyx, I feel like it is a really good place to start. This would be a really good place to start bringing it more mainstream. VR has a lot of really good titles in it now, but a lot of them are niche titles of rhythm games with a few really rockstar titles like Boneworks and Alyx and things like that. This could bring us like a really good new heavy-hitting title that could be something really special and start to usher in more and more people getting into VR even than there are now. The last thing that I've got for you guys is it looks like classic fighting game SNK vs. Capcom is actually coming to the Switch now. This will be a great little retro edition fighting game for those of you who either played this and loved this back in the day or kind of want to experience this. These games are kind of odd if you're not really heavy into SNK fighters, because half the roster you don't know. I'm in that boat too. I never got heavily into SNK fighters. However, the few of these that I have played have always been really well balanced and quite fun. So this should be pretty exciting to see come to the Switch. Now, if we could just get a really good arcade stick for the system, that would be even better still. I know 8BitO has one out, but I don't know how well it works. So if any of you guys know anything about how that actual 8BitO arcade stick works with the Switch, how well it works, how responsive it is, let me know in the comments. Also, let me know in the comments what you think of any of these other articles. And go and hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this and you want to see more of my content. Make sure to hit that bell as well, because that's about the only way it'll ever tell you that I do anything anymore. And until next time, happy gaming, guys.